All right, I think we're live. Hey everyone, welcome to Curio ArtStream number 3. It's Daniel and Max, and it's January 17th, 2022, and we are chilling, gonna just get set up and talk about anything and do some art. So if you're watching along live, you should feel free to post in the chat, and we're just gonna be hanging out, doing art, taking requests, doing whatever happens over the next 1 or 2 hours. So, welcome, Max. Let's have some fun. Thanks a lot for joining.
Oh man, so happy to be here. Um, yeah, super excited. We just got off a call about voting in the Curio DAOs, which is really informative and educational call. Lots of great ideas. So happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Daniel.
Let's see what your. Can you do a little scribble on the
Yeah,
remarkable?
yeah.
And then I'm going to get the videos aligned, and then I'll get out my paper. Yep, I think getting some themes like Tao is a theme, or who knows. Okay. All right, looks good. And there's my hand. All right, I'm gonna dip down. I will still be talking and listening, but I'll be under my desk.
Oh man, how's that look? That's the.
Oh, cool.
I'm gonna undo some stuff here. So today I'm plugged into the Remarkable 2 tablet, and it's a truly profound art making experience. It feels like you're writing on paper. Um, yeah, and it's Wi-Fi streaming to the screen, and yeah, it's really incredible.
Our papers are almost aligned, so like it, I'll be able to trace you.
Nice.
All right. All right. So yeah, I have one eye on the YouTube chat. If anyone posts anything, otherwise, let's pick a first theme. Should it be Curio?
All right. Do you want to? Should we set a timer, or do you want to just go till our arms fall off?
Yeah. Let's do the arm falling off option.
Okay, sounds good. I'm trying to remember what this raccoon looks like. Oh, there we go.
I have him on the bottom right of the stream. Um,
Okay.
so do you ever talk and draw? It's a
Um,
little hard, isn't it?
very rarely. I feel like it's definitely using different parts of the brain, but it's all good. God, I would love to just be able to make NFTs on the fly with this thing. It'd be so awesome. How's your weekend, man? You do anything cool?
Went on a hike, kind of
Nice.
a little bit outside of where I live, and just did a little other drawing, did a few requests, curio requests, did one on Toe Jam and Earl. It's a video game,
Oh, nice.
and yeah, back to the work game. Yeah, this is the best part about drawing. You can just say, "Oh no, I was warming up there." That
Like
wasn't the real drawing.
I just did like the worst sketch. Just like oh, whatever. It's
That
all
was a
good.
sketch.
Oh man. Um, trying to think, what else? What else?
I'm hiding my letters behind yours.
Okay.
This, well,
I
this
can't
kind
I can't see what you're doing, so because I only have one monitor up. Let me try pulling up another
you
one.
could
Oh
go
fuck.
to the.
It might mess it up actually.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's like
Um
a one direction or one way mirror.
yeah. Let's see if
So
I can
how
find
do
it.
you warm up for art? Like, what do you usually do to start?
Um oh man. I don't I don't know. I think I just jump in. I've done it for so many years. I don't have that have that process to warm up. It's just like just jump in.
I
Um
usually have a few words that I like to draw.
Sometimes
Test it.
just doing scribbles is fun too.
Yep. Testing, slow, balance, relax.
Okay, I need to pull up a second monitor just so I can see what you're doing because I'm just like, what's going on over there on that side?
Okay. So yeah, this is our scribble page. We'll get the scribbles out and then we'll. I liked it last time when we had the like the two sides going and then they were meeting in the middle.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Oh, here we go. Okay, I got a good preview. I'm gonna shoot it over to Twitter. Get some friends over.
Do you like scribbles?
I love
We
scribbles. Scribbles are where it's
we
at.
we like the scribbles.
I think at one point when I was really into scribbles, it was called Scribble Scrabbles by the homies. To those that are listening, I still like the scribbles.
Okay. Whenever you're done with that scribble
Okay.
missive, let's go
Okay.
to a new theme. And if anyone
Okay.
has like a request, they should definitely just throw it in the chat.
Here, I'm gonna clear it.
Okay. Let's do either a left or a right or like a top and a bottom initial split, and
Okay.
then we could do like past and future, um, individual and community.
Ooh, past and future. That's a good one. Let's do that one. Let's do that. Yeah. Does that work?
Yes.
Okay.
Which side do you want to do?
Oh, okay. I think future. What do you think?
Okay.
Okay.
And then will future be on the top, bottom, left, or right?
Um, Future maybe should be on the bottom or the
Okay.
right. Okay, I'll do.
Okay.
Yeah. How often do you draw, man? What's your drawing schedule like?
I have this kind of metal plate, so I try to sneak it out during the day. Um, there's like different different genres of drawing. Like for note taking drawing, that used to be just, I used to do that for hours a day. Like in all of school and even in grad school, I was just taking a lot of notes like that. And then once all my work went on the computer fully, I needed to set out more time to actually put the pen on the paper.
Hmm.
And so I'd say I draw a little something every day, but sometimes it's like in the full sketch mode. I kind of have a big uncanny valley between actually sitting down to draw something, like if it's for somebody who wants it or like a theme that I know that I really want to do, versus just little scribbling.
Yeah, I think most of my notes from high school and college are just bizarre scribbles and random drawings. Oh man.
Yeah, I wonder how all that can be. Like, how could the subject just be so that that was it? Not just to salvage the meaning of those notes, but it's how so many people interface with a lot of the material. Like little comic strips of chemistry or equations that incorporate layout and position. Like, why should we be restricted to just a text file for capturing like these incredibly rich and detailed topics?
Hmm. Yeah. Sorry if I go over your drawing. It's hard
Oh
to.
no, no, it's
So
okay.
weird. Okay.
Oh, cool. That looks like something you'd see carved into the sand dunes from 50,000 feet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think our resolution's on point today. It's both have really good connections.
Yep. The resolution is 4096 by 2160, and
Nice.
I'm streaming at 6000 KB per S.
Nice.
Use that internet while it's free, or whatever, while it's a flat rate.
Yeah.
Going into the future backwards, you know, able to see the past, stumbling forwards, backwards. Tracing, retracing, dreams, memories.
God, I really wonder to what extent our future experiences alter our past experiences or change the perceptions of the past. Or I don't know, is that even possible? I don't know. Science is weird. Oh man.
There's always like a low bar and a high bar. Like new information can come in that causes us to reinterpret the past. That happens all the time. But then it's like, so should we be expecting something even more than that to establish whether the future could influence the past?
Mm.
Is the present just like a bottleneck? All changes only go one way. But yeah. Oh nice. It's a whale. It's a crypto whale.
Yeah.
Yeah. People in the chat, you can definitely ask random questions.
Oh, please do.
Otherwise I think um we're still running Core 2 duos over here. So one hand is for drawing, that's one thread.
Oh man, I finally upgraded to like a desktop. I've always been on laptops the last oh man, 15 years or so, and I'm just so excited to be able to. I'm right now I'm running on a laptop, but pretty soon getting a desktop and be able to some RTX graphics card and just oh man, cannot wait. So excited.
Huh. It's a whale with a top hat.
I'm thinking like, what is in the future?
Oh, well, what's kind of cool is like the part that in red that I did underneath it, it is still there, even though the whale, the hatted whale, is over the block letters.
Oh, nice, nice. Oh, I love that. That's so cool.
Maybe
Yeah,
that's more.
I wish this remarkable tablet had some onion skinning so I could pull the stream in as it's going, as you know, to make it truly
Wait, what do you mean
layered.
onion skinning?
Oh, like I could see the YouTube stream underneath it because
Oh,
right now
like
I
drawing on a video tablet.
yes for
Yeah.
sure. All that talk about DAOs earlier gets me thinking about like maybe we should make a drawing DAO. Oh man.
Draw down. What
Draw
would it?
down DAO.
What would it be?
I mean, we just draw and mint it, and then all the funds just go back into it, and something like that.
It's any drawing material. Oh,
Yeah, I
one.
mean, like somebody would want one of these NFTs. I mean, we're yeah, or maybe not.
It's gonna be the refrigerator. The kids drawing on the refrigerator of the future. Um,
Oh man,
draw,
Is-
draw, draw down. Um, nice. That was very quick. Character there.
yeah,
So I see like the kind of ambivalence, like the arms are reaching in, but they're kind of like, is the arm inside or outside the future? Like, are we reaching into the outside, or is it reaching
Nice.
into us? And then,
Yeah, there's something really profound about the inverted arms. It's like,
huh?
yeah, really, it's very meta to me. It's like sometimes I make them drawing each other, which I find hilarious, or I'll have one draw like a draw another one that's like a better copy. And I always think that's hilarious.
It's like
Just
the Escher. Um,
well, it's like the poor quality one drawing the higher quality one. Like it
that's
wasn't
that's
content.
like the that's like the Bootstrap DAO formalizing mechanisms for a more complete DAO. Like you got to
Ooh.
start with a rough sketch, and then you can develop the next layer. Okay, wait. I'm gonna get a pillow to sit on.
Mhm.
Be right back in a second.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Whenever you're ready for a new theme, I did remember something to talk about or to kind of bring up. What would be a cool theme?
I think I have to like save. I think it'll save it. I can. I'll make. I'm just gonna make a fresh page.
Yep.
Um.
Now people can see that was my naked drawing underneath. Okay.
Nice.
Um.
Oh man, that's awesome. Um. And you're saving all those too, right?
These ones that I'm drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely need a better physical infrastructure for like I don't know when was it made, when was it, who, what was it for, or just like a file cabinet, but better. Okay. Anyone, of course, can always suggest a theme. Um,
Yeah. What theme do you want to do?
how about expression?
Okay. Oh man. All right.
So over uh, the holidays, I read multiple biographies of William Blake.
Nice. He's
Do
one of my
you?
favorite all-time artists. That's awesome, man.
Oh, dude, me too. That's funny.
Holy
So
shit. I didn't know that about you. That's awesome.
no, he was such an interesting fellow, of course. Okay, so English poet William Blake, for those who are not familiar. So his life was very interesting because he never moved more than like a couple of dozen miles from London. He pretty much lived in London, and the big like events and travels in his life were to like I'm not familiar with the geography, but he didn't go further than 100 miles or something like that. Um, but of course, he had such a tremendous mythology and creativity, and he made poetry and he made manuscripts that fused text and illustration into these illuminated printings. And so then here's the part where it sort of like made me think about expression and crypto and art. All right, so some of these biographies are very technically oriented, like they're very much about his printing career because he was a craft artist. Like people paid him to make etchings of different things, like for books and for poems and whatnot. Uh, and then he also made his own personal work on the side. And it seemed like the way that things worked was like a drawer would make a drawing, and then the engraver would engrave the drawing onto a onto a plate so that it could be mass produced.
Yes.
Yeah. And then and so it's like you have like the sheet of metal, and then the etcher, makes the etching, and then you put the thin roll of paint, and then you press that down on the paper, wipe the top off.
Yeah.
So
Intaglio
then,
printed. Yeah.
exactly, yes. And so Blake kind of convergently evolved slash pioneered the, like, almost the opposite of that method, which he called the Infernal Method, which is related to like Marriage of Heaven and Hell, his book. But he started with a plate, and then he painted with an acid resistant ink, and then dipped the plate into a corrosive bath. So then it ate away the parts that hadn't been drawn. And so that allowed the drawer to do the art by hand, but then also for that to be printed. And so he had big dreams that that would be a way to mass produce, but also retain the total sovereignty of production into one person's art. So like
Yeah.
that kind of reminded me of just, I don't know, like signing, like when something has the text and the art, it's in its unaltered form. Like today we'd have a
Yes.
checksum or something and verify that it was the one that people thought it was. But if it's just like a text, then I don't know, people could contextualize it differently or modify something. But then for the visual and the text to be so intermingled, and then for that to be done in one step, it's almost like sealing it with a kiss, but sealing it with a seal. Because then, yeah. So I don't know, what aspects of Blake do you like, or what did you think of?
I was first drawn to it because when I first saw it, I thought it was from the 1970s, and then when I found out how old it was, I was just so blown away. And then I studied printmaking. I got my BFA in printmaking, and I just loved those etching techniques. Yeah, and just connecting with him on that level too. And yeah, just huge fan of etching. I could, if I never had to have these these really, high level needs of producing income and making money, I would just do etchings all day. And it's pretty toxic though. I invented some processes where I transferred laser print to copper plates and then use it as kind of a resist. And I developed that from etching circuit boards and kind of extending that and really generating like a full range of tones and colors. And so I got really into that, just the process. And a lot of the times, friends and other instructors will be like, your stuff doesn't really look that interesting. Like maybe try focusing on like the social art or more interactive stuff, because that's way more interesting from an interesting perspective in life. But I just truly love it. And I did produce some stuff that was kind of cool looking, but man, yeah, the master printers go through so much just to, like, you look at a print, and if you didn't understand the process, you'd be like, oh, that's easy. They just like printed it out. And man, this is not that easy. And yeah, it just gets really involved. But a truly profound process, like the whole process where you create a resist, and then you can remove it and then throw it into acid and print it. Like, talking about spending hundreds of hours just kind of getting the basics down so you can produce something kind of interesting. Yeah, really awesome artist. It's so futuristic about what's going on with this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, his apprenticeship began very young, and he was a devoted craftsperson. Uh, Maybe the printer has made it seemed like printing is easy now that it's the easiest it's ever been. But then now printing's a hassle. So now it's like the other way.
Oh gosh, yeah. If you try printing now with like and do it with compliance and using solvents and all that, I mean, you drop in many, many tens of thousands of dollars to do it right. Just can't imagine. It's not gonna be cost effective.
To do a
But
classical print.
yeah, yeah, with all the acid and the time that it takes, and do you ever take a printmaking class or do any stuff?
I
Right
think
on.
I've done silk screen, like t-shirt. I've helped with that, but I've never done the Infernal Method.
Your yeah, your line art would translate really well to screen printing or seriography, as you call it. Um, yeah, really,
Seriography?
yeah, serigraph.
Huh.
Um,
One friend, Ryan, um, he took some of my drawings and did a laser etching on like wood and leather, glass. It looked really cool.
oh, that's awesome.
Here's
Oh,
this
nice. I see. That character is
dancing.
awesome.
Oh, here's a great question from Minted yesterday. Thanks for the question. Also, Constantine, thanks a lot for the support in the comment. So, Minted yesterday wrote, "Hey, draw Dow drawers." So it's official, Max. Um,
Okay, that's the next theme.
um, Triple D, diners, drive-ins, and dives. Have you guys tried drawing in VR spaces? What is it like drawing in midair
Oh,
versus other mediums? Cool question.
holy crap. I'm so glad you asked that question. I just so I got an Oculus and I only got it to do 3D modeling. I'm not a gamer. I definitely I've tried my whole life. I've never been to playing games. I'm more on the architectural side of experiences, and for some reason, just games don't resonate to me. So I didn't get it for that. I got it just to do these 3D sculptures. Um, so I helped set up the TV station here in Chico, California. Also was on the board of the library. In both those institutions, we got some VR sets. So I got to try them out. Had just some incredible experiences producing VR sculptures with tilt brush. So I bought an Oculus, is a few $100, which wasn't too bad, and then bought all of the 3D modeling programs. So the last couple of weeks in the evenings, I'll jump on there and just start sculpting these crazy things. And I swear, it's truly the most profound experience drawing I've ever had. It's unreal. You can work on things real small in front of you and blow them up as big as you want, and then paint on them. There's a graffiti app too that you can go up on walls and graffiti with people in VR. It's like, oh man, there's so much killer stuff on there.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think I would recommend it for everyone who likes to be creative and looking forward to more apps and more tools are going to be producing with the Vive or the
So
Oculus, I should say. Yeah.
I've never done it, but here's a few thoughts. Like when we're drawing on, well, this is 3 dimensional. It's just thin, but you know what I mean when I say 2 dimensional. So like when it's 2 dimensional drawing, there are all these tricks to make it pop and have rhythm and 3 dimensionality. Like this will be seen as a person with an arm bent behind a leg, even though, of course, it's not. But that's like the brain doing stuff. And so once you open up the ability to actually draw in 3 dimensions, does that mean that you can suggest a fourth dimension? Or like, does that what what illusions or spaces for somebody else to view it? Of course, people can view it from different angles. That doesn't really matter as much for a paper drawing.
Well, and maybe in some, we don't even know. I mean, maybe we are, maybe it, without even knowing it, just the act of, this is a virtual experience. We are drawing in some virtual reality of sorts right now. And people watching this in the future, is some fourth dimensional experience. And, um, and, maybe someone else can, remix this stuff too and add it to their artistic process in the future. So maybe it is going to be fourth dimensional.
It was always 4D, always was.
I remember talking with some friends on some nature hike in the forest somewhere in Santa Cruz. And we're talking about, I think you know where I'm going with this. So we were having a long excursion into the forest, these beautiful trees up in the hills, and trying to visualize like what a human looks like in the fourth dimension over a long period of time. And my best visualization is like it kind of looks like a long worm, so you're taking snapshots of the human's growth over a long period. And it kind of, if you're looking at it from afar, you just see like a small tail grow, and the human body gets bigger over time, then it decreases. But if you take snapshots of it and stack them real thin together, you'll get this kind of like long, thin worm, and then towards the end, it just kind of fades out and tapers off into particles. So it kind of looks like it's like a, if we could kind of draw it on here, it's kind of like worm that kind of like, oh man, it's hard to illustrate. But yeah, it was a definitely an interesting visualization. And fifth dimensional, forget about it. Can't capture that. Can't even get close to imagine. But anyway, yeah, I had some other people had other ideas too on how that could be perceived. And like maybe we're just space worms. Maybe that's what we really are to some other creatures.
Blake said human is a worm of 60 winters. So it's actually like very related.
Oh man, that's great. That's a great quote.
This one book I have here, it's like Blake and biological symbolism. I think it's called
Whoa.
the scattered portions. And I was like, wow, that sounds like it's going to be super deep. It kind of was, but also it was just like kind of documenting all the cases where different life forms were used in the poetry, and then what the symbolism was associated with it.
Nice, that's awesome.
What is this new dark part? Oh, you can change the color on something after you draw it.
Dark part. I don't know where.
Oh, I saw like,
I did a gray. I changed it to gray. Maybe that's what you're saying.
Can you? Oh, okay. So there's black, white,
and gray, and I have red and blue, but it takes a little bit to render. So I don't really like. I could show you what that looks like. It's kind of cool.
Let's do it. Let's do a new
okay.
Red, white, and blue.
Okay.
Okay. Cool expression. Nice. So there's the one that I drew underneath it.
Okay. So
Kinda
red,
like
white.
Yeah. Red, white, and blue theme.
Okay. So I'll hop on blue. What? And then the theme. What was the other theme you suggested? That was a good one.
Individual, collective.
Collective is good. That's a really good theme. Oh, the DAO. Do you want to do drawing DAO theme?
Sounds good.
Okay. Do you want to start on a preferred side? Do you have interest there?
Okay. How about I'll take the left side.
Okay.
The left half. It will be a drawing DAO flag.
Oh, okay.
Because many flags have red, white, and blue.
Should I draw like the form of the flag,
Uh,
like the outer form?
yes, sure.
Okay.
Do one bounded rectangle, a big bounded rectangle.
Okay. I'm gonna do a kind of a an interesting shape just to kind of
Right.
make
It's a yeah. Who said that the flag had to be always shown? Okay, perfect. I got you.
yeah. Okay. And then I think that's a good form, right? It's kind of like a waving um I don't know what you call it, like tessellation. Oh man, I don't even know. I mean, is it? Yeah, it's close. It's close to a
This,
tessellation.
you know that song "Wave and Flag"? It's a
I don't know.
classic. Okay. All right. Oh, also
We
kind of
should get a
like
DJ next time too, like a
I
subtle.
think I think a DJ or like a few other people who want to fill the dead air.
Oh man, I know we're not necessarily um particularly good at like filling the dead air. Oh, that's all good.
I mean, when you're if all you
We're
have to
making
do
art
is
here.
yeah,
We're taking
exactly. If all you have to do is talk, it's easy. We're chewing gum over here.
yeah.
Okay. I outlined your flag. Then I will do red on the.
So should I stay? I should just stay on blue then, right? Or what are you thinking?
I did the outline in black, and then you do blue, and I'll do red inside.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about just like the 3D drawing. Maybe I'll come chill. We'll do drawing, or I'll get a VR.
Yeah, there's. Oh man, I'll You know what? Tonight I'll send you a recording of it. You're gonna be like, no way, this is real. Like this exists.
Drawing never goes out of style. So what are the draw dows memes?
Oh man, I don't know.
To draw and not to, dot dot dot. To draw and not do photography.
I have a little bit of advantage of the undo button on here. I just realized. Oh man.
Well, that's like the big sticky topic probably. I mean, what are the future governance hurdles in drawing DAO? Pencil versus pen, analog versus digital.
Oh man. Yeah.
You can't just undo. Whatever, Grandpa. It's almost like it's an opportunity for the guilds that we didn't have to kind of come into existence. Like it's with
Wait, how's
everything, with just with all the excitement around DAOs and like both of us exploring different things, but just if someone says, I want a regional by interest DAO, I want the California hiking DAO or something, it it is just an organization, but it almost like allows a group of people to start their own guild structure. It's not like starting an organization, even an online organization, was impossible 2 years ago, 15 years ago. But it's cool that there's such an excitement around maybe escaping or starting to diminish our regime of attention towards uh, platforms that don't respect our psychology or attention or values, and starting to see that kind of split up into a landscape of more self-selection and more like affinity on a certain topic. Oh, graph paper versus unlined.
Oh man, I'm trying to get that text really dialed in. I feel like,
Hand text play versus abstract drawing.
oh man,
Hey,
yeah.
we invented the keyboard so we wouldn't have to do lettering. No, dude.
Oh man.
We the drawers.
Yeah, there's all these political divisions that could happen really quickly with this.
In the drawing world.
Oh no, I was just thinking like just line paper versus graph paper. Like, just can't agree with you, Daniel.
Yep.
Gotta do line paper. It's
Yep.
authentic to the drawing experience. What is another? Oh, like an L shape ruler maybe.
Oh, drawing accoutrement. Well, yeah. So there's the media, tools, subject matter, genre. Can you use your angle? Um, Maybe some people like attach the drawing device to a pendulum or to a spirograph. Controversial. Is that really drawing? Is it drawing engineering? Is that okay? And it's also so fun because it's like it does bring one to the kinds of governance questions that matter off the page, but we need to practice on some that are a little bit lower stakes sometimes.
Oh man, yeah.
Solo drawing versus collaborative drawing. Oh, and I like that it's drawing the pen on the right or the pencil on the right. It's drawing off the page, and then we you have one red line, and then I have one red line. So it's kind of like everybody can break out of the box in their own way if we have a drawing DAO.
Oh, it's so good. I'm trying to think of other. I'm gonna try to line up some stuff on those bars.
Drawing maxis, only drawing versus people who dabble.
I think also, yeah, it's like the kind of that recursive idea of like creating our own culture, like drawing our own community, drawing. Drawing to me is like the I had mixed feelings about it because I know there's some artists that just only draw, but to me, drawing is like it's like a primitive, right? It's like the first thing you do to express the idea. But man, artists take it so far where it's like only in charcoal. And I've always thought those as very basic. I mean, my perspectives change on it, but um, it's something that may not last a long time if it's just on paper. Um, I've done some drawings of where I took like charcoal and put them on like a huge sheet of paper, like a 8 by 12 sheet, and then put another sheet underneath it, and then collected people's footprints when they walked over it. And so I had other people drawing through the act of walking on top of this paper and transferring it and printing it on this other sheet. So yeah, I've gone. I mean, studying art, just went through all these different types of practices of like how can you make a line, how can you evolve it. Um, geez, yeah, really fun stuff there to figure all that out.
All right. On the bottom, we draw together to stay together. And then on the top, lend a hand, drop a line.
Nice. Oh, you could do an X-Acto knife too. That's a pretty good drawing tool.
How does the X-Acto get used for drawing?
Um, well,
I've never done
it's
that.
it's just you cut out shapes. It's like it's another way to make you could say if you're doing like collage or like drawing around the shapes. Um, yeah, I've used it a lot for that process because it's like, well, what is it? Is it a sculpture? If you're just cutting on a 2D surface, it's like, well, that's not a sculpture. Is that a painting? So whenever I
Hmm.
use like experimental tools for a process, I'm always looking at like what is that what category of art does that fit into? But
Hmm.
I mean, even a razor blade is a good one. Yeah, I mean, you can draw with anything. You can pick a stick up. Maybe we should put a stick in there too.
It's kind of like Curio 1 through 10, the evolution of human history, or like
Include a stick.
it's very like Marshall McLuhan with the whole media and information changes. There are changes that are happening that are bigger and faster than any media transformation that has happened so far. Like even just that the Remarkable that you're using or any sort of digital tablet, I mean, those have only been around for a short period of time, but clearly they have fundamentally changed the game.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, and how does this change our perception of using it? That's why I'm always like, always go back to how does the medium like how does the medium and its intrinsic properties change how our brains function, how we interact with other people, how we treat other people. I mean, there's so much to be discovered, and just yeah, what happens if you're consuming cable television all day? Like, how does that influence the way you communicate to others? I mean, even this, like, how is this gonna change our perspectives of what NFTs are and what a DAO is, and like, oh man, just amazing what can happen.
In the digital space, sometimes it feels like there's no constraints. Like it feels like, and I think that's sort of the dream. That's like it's the iPhone aesthetic. It's just all screen and there's nothing. It's just out of the way. Design should be minimal and all of that. But it really just reveals another level of actually influencing the experience. Like you can't escape the power of design. And then going back to the time question, like we don't have the reference point or the control group to really even understand. It's like we're on our own little n=1 experiments, just scribbling. Cool. This looks good on the stream with the 2 on top.
We should respectively mint these, and then if people get like one of each one, then they get
Oh,
a membership or something.
or you can have it's like a buddy system, like where they can fuse and make the combo drawing.
I've seen that on Wax. I haven't seen that so much on Ethereum. I'm sure it exists, but it's really easy to do it on the Wax blockchain, where you set like parameters. Like if you have this NFT and that NFT from these different collections, then you burn them, and then it allows you to mint like another one. But it's not feasible on Ethereum because the gas is too high to offer that. But it's something like that. Yeah, just holding it. I almost prefer it's like zero expectations. You just like, oh, it's an NFT. If there's enough interest, we'll find a use for them.
Good with this one?
Yeah. What was it?
Good with this drawing?
Yeah. That was. I feel like we did kind of like a mind map flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good.
Okay. No one else has written one in chat. We'll pick one theme, and then anyone else should definitely suggest other themes that we can do to kind of. Okay. Yeah. There's just the drawing alone. Okay. What theme?
What is a good theme?
Geometry, regeneration, isolation.
Isolation is a major theme. I mean, I've seen so many people that are like truly fearful about going outside and getting sun, and just breathing the air, and like, man, yeah, I've seen. Oh, it's so sad to see the level of isolation. People are just wanting to do the right thing, and in that process they get almost more isolated. Yeah, what about that? Isolation.
Sounds good.
Okay. You hear a weird ringing in the background. I think the bank just got robbed next door to where I'm at.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You're in the Wild West.
Yeah.
Well, it's so weird just looking at the screen, and then I look down. It's like I almost have the after image of what you drew, but then I don't see it. So I totally see how the AR could play out.
It'll be fun, man. We
Like,
should meet up in there and do one of these in VR. It's just so profound. It's a different level. It's so immersive. Like you're like you kind of get these sensations that you can kind of feel the shape. And some of the programs, like when you move the controller near the shape, it actually kind of um, bumps your hand, vibrates a little bit.
yeah,
Um,
no, but like
yeah.
even just right now, like it's like almost a feeling that I haven't had like with the After Effect. Like it feels like a decay. Feels like the digital world is like spilling into the page because I can see both versions. And when I was hiking, so for I was wearing a weighted backpack, and then
Hmm.
when I took it off, it was um it was like not hard to walk, but it felt like kind of trippy because I was just used to that extra weight. Now I just imagine getting used to the digital, getting used to being in the metaverse, being super deep in the game, getting pulled out. It's just or being deep in isolation for years, getting pulled out.
Yeah, the metaverse. That's a good thing. Yeah, I have such mixed feelings on it because I think we've been portrayed the metaverse to be this like VR destination. Um, but I don't know if it is. It might be more than that. It might be something we can interface with in a terrestrial, um, non invasively technological. Yeah, it may not be that we're tapped into it through headsets. I think that could be just something that's been propagated by the major corporations trying to sell us on it. I could see it being something other like you go into a community space and you're not carrying your phone, you're just there and you can engage with smart contracts and community tools and other ways to add value that aren't necessarily you know owning virtual land or anything like that. So
I mean, there's so many pieces that have to get disentangled. There's the ownership, like that's when people talk about read, write, own. Then they're like so protocols over platforms, and then ownership, governance, and being able to have a say. Then there's the VR, AR part, and then yeah, using the headset is just one modality that isn't even accessible to all people, not just because of cost, but like um, for various reasons. And I agree. That's kind of like a solar punk version, right? Like you walk into a really to like a mixed reality space, but also one where I don't know, it's running an open source cyber physical code, so you know that it's not like just being used for surveillance.
yes, yeah, the open source metaverse movement's going to be crazy and needed. And man,
The people who will use and develop, just where are they? Are they 7? Are they 45? Do they currently program? Or are they just doing some other task? Oh, I really like that. Like left side, the person, the eye. another piece, like most of the group drawing partner or larger that I've done, um, obviously was on the same piece of paper. So we're always rotating the paper and switching pens and kind of blurring identity and contributions that way.
Nice.
But here, we can both be drawing on the same spot. And that's
Yes.
kind of the whole joke with NFTs. Like right click saved. Two people can, although that's not ownership, you can, two people can be in the same spot in a three-dimensional space. Like everybody can be watching the VR baseball game from the same spot. So it's a
Yes.
whole nother set of um it's like, yeah, scarcity is enforced by the substrate of reality in the physical plane.
Well, and we maintain autonomy too, right? There's this like this is yours, this is mine, but at this moment there's this hybrid consensus mechanism of sorts.
You mean how people enforce like who owns what?
Yeah, like so right now, like we have this third thing that's coming out of there that is like, a combination of our intellectual property of sorts. It's like this is perfect. This is goes back to the DAO thing. It's like we're making this thing together. It's like, oh, it makes sense to put it into a DAO because what is the third thing that comes out of this? It's a unique partnership, right? Like there isn't laws that govern things like this. It's like I have this art, you have that art, but there's a third thing that's created that's really unique.
That is
Um,
very, it is very interesting. That almost makes me think about like technology development and patents. Like you develop one part, another person develops another part, so they're both necessary. Neither of them are sufficient, but who gets to say? Um, this reminds me of your side. Reminds me, just so people can see it. There it is. That reminds me of like the Escher just buy exactly. Fix your isolation. Buy something. Uh, with the waterfalls and just like flowing. And they're crying.
oh man, yeah, there's so much confusion,
Or
sadness, and despair.
buy BUY. Flip letters. Why be you? Why should you be you if you're isolated?
Okay, I'm gonna do another another one of those. That's a good one.
Why don't
That's a
you be
really
some why don't you be someone else? You can be someone else in
wow, that's so good. I almost get this weird vibe that we're contemporary Bob Rosses almost. Like there might be some people in the future like, you know, flexing because they watch this or like, oh yeah, I know Bob Ross. I watch his show.
I watch Bob live. Um
We
I
can only
mean
dream.
he inspired people to draw slash paint, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's people that go spend money on paint almost every day in the world because of him.
Or maybe the next Bob Ross is a collective. So now on the bottom right, you enter materialism, etc., buying, and then you only recognize the sort of, it's like Soylent Green is people. It's like, wait, I was
Hmm.
the product? No.
Yeah, I really wonder how just years of people seeing things on the shelves of stores has affected their psychology about thinking what, do we turn into things on shelves? Do we become a product on the shelf, or do we see that as like something that is, you know, something that's we should follow in that path? Or yeah, that oh man, shit is really interesting. How do products on the shelf affect our psychology? And it's just that pressure to be something for sale.
Yep, this is how things are presented when they want to be sold. Wow.
Do you know if anyone's doing governance or DAO research or anything like that at the university level?
Yeah, great question. Actually, there's a group called MetaGov that I've been in for a little bit, and it's bringing together a lot of researchers in different departments at universities and more on the practitioner side. There isn't a DAO department of research, but there's a ton of interest in related topics. It's almost like the speed, the generation time of the academia is it's just like you have to just what year would somebody have to start being a professor or whatever to be able oh cool the bubble to have that be their research focus. And
Mm.
so certainly some people who are already in the game will pivot their research to study this kind of stuff more. Um, but I can't think of any like specific. There's been conceptual papers on Ostrom and economics,
Nice.
modular governance. Uh,
That Ostrom book, Governing the Commons, is really good. I highly recommend it.
yeah, and that's totally that's the whole public goods angle. I feel like that will be a key meme because once people get really excited about contributing to public goods and we start to figure out how to, oh, open source software is a public good and the information commons as a public good, there will be a whole toolkit. We won't just be lost in how new and different it is. So, oh, it's like fishing or it's like some other commons. Um, and I'm doing a research project right now with several colleagues. We should be done like by the end of February, where we're doing some. Uh, I hope that we're making something that will help people conceptualize and design DAOs and cyber physical systems, especially related to DeSci, like decentralized science. So maybe I'll share more. We can have another discussion when the paper's out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I did this conference called Dackathon. It's at dackathon.com. So, in the EOSIO communities that have primarily been part of the last 4 years of crypto, we used this software that allowed us to make DAOs very easily. And, we're calling them DACs over there, decentralized autonomous communities. Um, and anyway, these DAOs, made a few different community ones that had great success, and I don't want to get into that because it goes down these rabbit holes. But we made an event that comes out of kind of this distaste for traditional conferences, because there's so many crypto conferences, and myself and a bunch of other friends came to this kind of this consensus around, like, you don't know if you're going to like get equitable value out of it, if you're really going to meet that one speaker you wanted to connect with, or find that one if you're there to get an investor, you don't know if it's going to hit. It's like gambling. Every time you go to one of these things, you may get an employee or connect with someone that's awesome, but it's hit or miss. I was like, let's make a more equitable conference. And at first everyone thought we are going to be doing it in person. I'm like, no, we got to do this online like first. And so this predates the COVID days. So kind of ahead of its time. So we met up online with, I think a few hundred people came to it first, and everyone put in a little bit of the EOS token into a pool, and then we decided what the DAO was going to be. So we collectively came up with the concept of the conference and the token and the voting process and the whole thing. It's all online too. If you search Dackathon on YouTube, you could find some of the footage. And I think the day of the main day where we created the DAO and the test tokens, it's about a 14-hour conversation. And yeah, it's mostly just talking about it and figuring it out. The actual implementation is really easy. So we ended up with a bunch of custodians, and it ended up being called MetaDAC. And the primary function was to teach through education. And we've had a few events. I think we're having one this year. It'll be our fourth one. Yeah. And the software we used was created by this company, Dakoko, which ended up creating the game Alien Worlds. I'm sporting the shirt today.
Interesting.
And yeah, and Alien Worlds is now one of the top used blockchain applications and top used blockchain games. It makes up most transactions on the Wax blockchain, and there's a standalone game on BSC as well. That is, it's really, really worth checking out. Also, the biggest use of NFTs is really kind of an unusual use case that no one knows about. Most people think it's in collectibles or art or who knows what. But most NFTs that are being used are from Alien Worlds. I want to say there's like a couple 100,000 daily users or somewhere in there. What were you going to say? Yeah.
I was just wondering, like, do you think that there's any gray or dark chain NFT, like not on a public chains? Somebody could just fork EVM or fork some other system, and then just like in supply chain or quality control or something, like that somebody could just already be using it, but just chooses not to call it by this acronym because they perceive that it's not like going to be understood.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of private uses for blockchain through supply chain stuff. But to me, there's almost this absurdity. It's like they could just do it with a decentralized database structure. It doesn't even. It's like it doesn't even need a blockchain. They might have just bought into it because it was like a buzzword. And but yeah, there's some interesting use cases for that. I haven't been particularly interested in the private uses of blockchain in the private sector, unless it's for like experimentation. I could see someone deploying a unique delegated proof of stake chain or something for internal use. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It's like, why is it necessary? Just use like a old school database and then take a snapshot and put it on some like internal IPFS system, or oh man, yeah, I don't know. I've been to presentations where they try to sell you on that in the Bay. in SF, like going to some shit, some. I don't even want to say which ones they were, to be honest, because I want to, yeah, be on record saying that. But yeah, there's, I don't know, just it's always felt weird to me, for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, it's always funny driving in the Bay. Every billboard, it's about like data as a service and cloud.
Oh yeah, it's really weird to see. Last month when we were down in Miami, seeing billboards for crypto products, I'm like, what? Like this is this is weird. Or seeing them like in the Uber, there's like crypto ads coming up on the screen on the back of the car. I'm like, this is so strange to see this stuff.
Nice. This one's looking almost done.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah, I'm trying to like look at what it. It also reminds me of the Lorax in the factory that just pumps out the uh like noxious stuff. So it's kind of like there's the Onceler. He's isolated
Totally.
up in his little up in his little cave or whatever. No more
Oh
truffalump
man,
trees, just isolation.
so sad. Yeah. I kind of like I think I'm pulling out like a Ready Player One vibe here too. Like the stacking of the buildings or have you seen that movie?
Ready Player One?
Yeah.
No.
Oh man. Yeah, it's pretty dystopian. Definitely worth
Is it
checking out.
is it a metaverse classic?
It's a metaverse classic. Yeah. I think
Metaverse starter pack.
it's ahead of its time.
Mm.
Oh man.
Also, there's like no single alignment. So the person on the bottom left there.
Oh man. Okay. What do you
Good.
think? Should we call it? This is a good one. There are some deep themes that come out of this one.
Good. Let's do one more chill one like this.
Okay.
All right. So check see if anyone. Okay. All right. What do you want to do for a theme?
Um
Start listing some objects around me.
um Vision. Yeah, the William Blake thing is like a vision and visionary. How about that?
Oh, nice. Yes for vision, and maybe we don't have to like have the year on there, but I think like a new year vision, a vision for the new
Oh,
year.
a vision for 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
that's good. I like that.
Okay. Wait to see what you do for the first piece.
Oh wait, I did this backwards. Hold on.
Is it backwards?
Oh no. I was gonna put arms on this too because I think it's hilarious, but I needed to draw the two first.
We're only 1 month away from February 22nd, 2022. Two, 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 two,
Oh
two,
man,
two, two.
that's a good day.
Okay. Okay.
I
Cute,
forget how
cute.
precise I can be with this tablet. Like it's kind of a kind of surprised every time I really get into it. Most of the time I just scribble on it. I'm like, oh, I can actually like really pull out some detail. Oh, I wish there was a fill bucket on here. I know it takes up a lot of processing to do that um, on something like this, but
To do the auto detect and fill.
yeah, yeah, it's involved.
Hmm. It really does remind me of like the baby trying to flip the page. Like they only know they only know the digital version. Try to like swipe the page on a real book. But it's like seriously, I'm looking down and I'm expecting to see it projected. It just okay, nice. A hat. 22 with a fedora.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
nice. I love the stuff in the hands. It's awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna try do some funny eyes.
Keep them lined up. There we go.
Oh, I thought I lost it for a second. I was like, no. Are you doing any teaching this semester or just research?
Um, I'd say unconventional teaching, like
Nice.
in active inference lab. I think we're all teaching and learning together.
Gotcha.
So I'm
But
not assigned any uh, uh, institutional teaching role,
gotcha.
but every week, like multiple times per week, I think there's a bunch of us who are learning and teaching each other. I'm kind of in a spot where like a postdoc has the most time for research. Not every postdoc, et cetera, but like um, it's kind of the point where the administrative requirements are the lowest that they'll ever be for some people. And
Awesome.
so, yeah, I know. I'm just enjoying it.
Yeah, when I was teaching at the college, I was like, never, no one's like ever checking up on you. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like I need feedback on my teaching practices, and you only get that if you like really mess up. Then you get feedback. But for the most part, it's like hands off. Um, like too much autonomy. Like, yeah, is this what we're supposed to be doing? But it just goes to show there was just such little accountability with my particular institution as well. So,
What do you think
but
about like a course or like a D school, like a decentralized school, or something for artists? Like CryptoPop with a guild has kind of surely is exploring topics like that, but what you went through the IRL education pipeline.
mhm.
So what is the what should you have known?
Well, oh man, that's a good question. I mean, I've even when I first started there. So I taught, taught the college for 4 years and printmaking and some design. Um, and then, as also a mentor and through different school clubs and did a lot of work experience, offering units for people helping out with my different businesses and such. And yeah, so when I got there, I started helping out with writing a degree called the Business of Art.
Hmm.
And, came up with all the classes, the curriculum, and it's just like, wow, this is a huge undertaking. And then submitted it to like the curriculum committee, and I'm like, this is absolutely insane how much work it is to go through this process. Um, because in the real world, you're like, hey, you want to learn something? Here's a class, and then you literally just offer it on YouTube, and then you get people watching your content, right? Um, and so yeah, so I was definitely um, learned a lot about how long things take and the absurdity of that and the structure. And so I think that if the objective is just to add value, I don't know if the traditional structures are needed for that. I feel like there's enough tools to distribute the content and get it out there without that. Um,
You mean
and
without
I
like an
even think,
institution?
yeah, without traditional institution. So yeah, mixed feelings there. Um, and I even think as for funding now too, it's like there's so many options for that. Like you don't need traditional things to go through that structures. Anyway, mixed feelings. So eventually we found out after doing all this work, like they're like, there's no way we're gonna allow you to make this program, basically. And it was just like this massive waste of time. Like, oh no, like so. Anyway, kind of discouraged from creating such curriculum in that manner, but at the same time, yeah, it was a valuable lesson. Definitely, kind of yeah, helped me reassess what that structure really is, and what they were trying to create out of it as well. Like what the function of it is turned into. Yeah, yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm I'm just not sure or professional enough to really know because I kind of came into the art game through the side door.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking about how many interesting areas, especially in the digital context, like we're bumping up against IP, governance, economics, interpersonal relationships, technology. Like it's almost like restoring the uh, the Renaissance person or the general education, and also then like there's 2023. Nom 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 nom. Uh, like STEAM, people use that for like science, technology, engineering, art, mathematics. So where does art stand alone in an education? And yeah, I'm also very interested, like what outside of the institutions and the structures that have existed previously, which have only been around for a short time in the grand scheme of things. What
Yes.
else is possible? And how could the unit of education be like something beyond the just the individual person? I don't know, just their brain. Could it involve their body, their network, their portfolio, like
Yeah, I wonder if there'll be some more interfaces to like contemporary structures in academics. Like, will there ever be something that connects to some decentralization of sorts to speed up things? I just feel like there's some serious value with academics, and it's been going on for quite some time. Um, 1 second. I was trying to upload my stuff and it just did. I think it got to a point where it was trying to save it, so it's all good.
I'm
Um,
sorry, I can't let you draw that. See, that's the part with the electric car, electric drawing. You know, what happens if you just do a nice line and then all of a sudden, up, oh, can't do that.
yeah.
That's why it has to be open source.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It kind of forced me out of it. It's like, I got to save. I'm like, what? You're not supposed to just like exit the window I'm working on.
This
So,
one's
what
very
is 2022 bringing? Lots of things to lots of arms.
yeah. I'm seeing a lot of tangling paths and a lot of like the shape on the left looks like a lump of clay, like something that could be formed.
Turn these into some characters, I think, just to make them like a little more interesting. Yeah, what are some bridges from those like traditional academic structures to the new world?
I think complex systems. That's my personal bias, but like complexity is an on ramp and an off ramp for so many things. I just feel like any uh view, let's just say the 2010 view, whatever it was that was making the system complex then in 1950 and 1500, massively interacting subunits or syntax and semantics, like whatever was making it a complex system then, it's still a complex systems now. It's just different. So there's like the conceptual bridge, but and that conceptual bridge is often just very clear. It's just sometimes the logistical bridge is not built yet. Like, so how would somebody studying political science move from their current study system to, like, again, like the Dow system?
Hmm. Well, in that process too, and there's if their research is being funded by other middlemen of sorts too, it's like how do you, I guess, navigate that? How do you, they have their requirements and their needs to see a certain deliverable. Um,
Funding?
yeah, or yeah, I don't know, man. It seems like they're so different. Like the systems have different properties, and
I think you'll really like this research paper. I can't wait to show it to you because
Okay.
we 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 are kind of exploring some of these pieces. Like, what have been the value flows? Where's the granting agency, the university, the publisher? But what value flows could we have? Uh, it could be different. We could reward people who are learning and starting their career, or we could figure out. I mean, I'll have more to say when we complete it, but I do hope that the bridge can be bi-directional. Maybe some people they want to do research on these topics and they know best.
Mm,
So that's where I see the collective intelligence and just respecting people from all backgrounds in research and application. Just it doesn't have to be each person being an expert in every area or experiencing every DAO. Like we just need some who have and the right ways to work together.
yes, for sure. Yeah, there's I think, as especially when we start discovering more forms of community lubrication in the form of currencies or tokens or whatever they're called. I mean, they're going to be called so many other things. Um, yeah, a lot of those things drastically change. We won't have to be earning money to meet our basic needs. We won't have to be, working what we thought it was work or what we think work is. Or things will get very blurry, so to speak.
I want to see the chart of people who are in that zone, number of them through time. Like
Oh yeah,
otherwise, I think people will be needing to work for a long, long time.
okay.
And but then again, it's like Bucky Fuller and making a world that works for everybody. It some sort of naive, you know, take the sum and divide by the number of people type redistribution. It's not the solution. But if within each community trust based redistribution is possible to support people, then why not across communities and have everyone included that way? I mean,
Yeah,
maybe that's where the social and the art are going to come together, or one aspect. Wow. It's like a roller coaster. I thought 2021 was a roller coaster.
yeah. I think it's going to be a good year. I mean, we're off to a good start.
Some nice curio activity. Never a bad thing.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people start hitting me up whenever I get some random DMs. There's Curio activity too. Like, oh,
Historical NFTs. Can't count them out.
nice. We got 2 viewers. That's awesome. I'm like, this is by far one of the weirdest drawing shows I think ever on the planet. Oh man.
Yeah, it's a little niche, but
You never know. Someone's might be waiting for this their whole life. Like,
Or
oh,
they
that's
could they could have the overlay and be drawing a third layer.
yeah. I
Cool.
tried to do a decentralized drawing show. Oh man, so I was doing it at the TV station, just layering and compositing different layers live, and just had really powerful computers to kind of stack these things up. And at one point, I think I even set up like half dozen cameras, like 4K cameras too. And then I did some layers where people could go on like one of the Google drawing products, and then I would just import that in. But then I found out that I was like, I needed to curate it because I was just getting like people pasting in like the craziest stuff. I'm like, oh no, what have I done? So yeah, decentralized drawing when people don't have accountability is problematic. So the moral of the story is don't do a decentralized drawing show
Trust but
because
verify.
yes, next time we should do like Ethereum address, it like deposits it and then it gives them the link after they get their NFT. Then it's like, oh yeah, you want to draw? Well, you got to put in, you know, enough
Gotta
money that
gotta
it's
put some
okay if
ink
you put whatever you want.
put some ink in the game.
Yeah,
Um
but still, there's problems with that too. You can't some content you can't put on YouTube and get flagged and all that
oh,
fun stuff.
and like art is not financially gated.
Yeah,
So how to balance all of that.
yeah, that's a tough one.
Nice. I think if you draw that white line, then we
Yeah.
could be good here.
Okay. Yeah, we had a good day. This was awesome.
Yeah, and I hope that yeah. I guess I have 6 or 7 drawings here. They only make half as much sense. I'm gonna try to do a little remix with a different drawing.
Nice. Oh man,
It's
yeah.
like
Let's
the bass of one song with a treble of another song.
nice. I love
Here's
that.
the Dow flag.
Yeah, let's brainstorm. I mean, if you have some extra time this week, let's brainstorm about a DAO. I mean, I think it'd be fun to put these in there and just see what happens. And people like this content, they can support it by supporting the DAO or something. Um, yeah. Oh man,
Fun
these drawings are so
remixes.
weird.
Or
Yeah, I
like
love the
the way
layering.
people could vote would be like by overlaying or by commenting on each other's drawings. So it could be like drawing based communication.
Oh man, yeah, that's cool.
There's the 2022 one again. Okay,
I think we could do. I think on that layer next time. I think you could do a make it higher contrast in OBS too,
um
or the line work at least.
okay, I'll look at the video and see what it looks like.
Oh man, this was fun though. Can't wait to do it
Yeah.
again.
Thank you, Max. Always a pleasure. So hope to see you around the Curioverse, the Drawverse.
Yeah. The Curioverse. Oh man, is that what the DAO's called? Here, I gotta make a note of that.
I think it's Curio DAO, right?
Curioverse? Oh no,
I,
yeah,
I, I
maybe
think
they
the
want.
Curio ecosystem, Curioverse, Curio versality. I think there could and should and will be many. Like,
Absolutely. Okay, awesome, brother. I will catch you on the interwebs.
yes, thank you, Max. Thanks everybody for watching.
Bye,
Peace.
everyone. Thanks for joining.
Bye.